And as you know, that is the only loss Mahomes has suffered this year in a game in which he has started. That's how we start hour number 2 of NFL Game Day Morning, presented by Intuit TurboTax here on this Championship Sunday, taking you to kickoff in Philadelphia, where Kurt Warner is literally and figuratively chilling out right now, getting set to call this game on Westwood One Radio later on. And we have Gerald McCoy, Steve Mariucci. I am Rich Eisen. That's Robert Griffin III here in studio. Legacy time. That's what we always talk about when it comes down to playoff wins and losses in games like this one. What does tonight's game mean for the legacy of Josh Allen, if anything, Kurt Warner?
Well, it's obviously huge. I talked about it in my storyline, is that the first thing that comes after talking about NFL quarterbacks is how many Super Bowls did they go to? And so just to punch your ticket for the first time to the Super Bowl is huge for his legacy. But I think there's a couple other factors as well. If you're the team that, or you're the guy that beats Patrick Mahomes, who's, done so many things, and he's kind of the guy in this era that has set himself apart. If you were able to knock him off on the way, that kind of stacks to your legacy. And then maybe, to me, even a bigger point was, I was one of the guys that thought the Buffalo Bills were going to take a step back this year. They lost a bunch of their key pieces from a year before, and nobody really expected them to be here. And so Josh Allen being able to take this team to the Super Bowl, I think adds one more layer to that legacy. Now, it's only one Super Bowl. We understand the great ones playing multiple, but I just believe this is going to be huge for Josh Allen if he's able to get this victory and put himself in that first Super Bowl.
Yeah, guys, I just think this is a fork-in-the-road game for Josh Allen. And when I say that, he has to make a decision if he's going to be Peyton Manning or is he going to be Phillip Rivers. When you look at Peyton Manning, he started his career 0-2 against Tom Brady in the playoffs. But then something happened, and he finished his career 3-2 against Brady and actually had a winning record. So right now, Josh Allen is 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. No one would say that Phillip Rivers didn't have an illustrious career, a great career, but he doesn't have the Super Bowls to go with it. So if the Bills aren't able to win today against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're saying to themselves, we haven't been able to win against them when Josh is playing Superman. We haven't been able to win against them when he's protecting the ball and our defense is getting turnovers. How can we beat these guys? So I think if they don't win today, it's going to be a situation where their mental psyche is now affected. It'll be devastating for him and for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you think about it, Steve, you're looking at the way that Mahomes is sitting atop the league right now, sitting atop Kansas City, and I'm reminded of when Tiger was winning all those majors. And there was just a host of Hall of Fame players that weren't getting the majors because Tiger was. Jordan, by the way, who Mahomes could join the pantheon of Michael Jordan with a three-peat this year. First one ever. And you're just thinking in the NFL, and you're sitting here thinking there's a whole host of Hall of Fame players who haven't gotten to the Super Bowl, been standing at the doorstep. And Josh Allen, I think is on a Hall of Fame career path. If not, you could make a case is already, knocking on the door if he doesn't play another game. That you're just wondering if he could just end that sort of narrative and get through, as opposed to be a guy born at the wrong time.
Right. Earlier before this discussion started, you showed a graphic how similar they were in playoff.
Yes.
Okay, or head-to-head, head-to-head, very similar. But if you go back even further, go back to 2018 when they both became starters in this league. They have the most wins. These two have the most touchdowns. They have the most yards per game. These are the two best guys. And the only difference is that darn playoff record. It's that simple. And so, luckily, Josh Allen is still a relatively young guy. It's not like he's going to fade away into the sunset.
Not at all.
He's still going to have more chances, hopefully, because
it's a promise made, one man to another. I will get my damn job done today. That's how you win championships.
Would it be a feather in his
Okay,
cap
let me
if he
address
can dethrone Houdini,
Dallas
the great
Cowboys
Patrick
hire
Mahomes,
at
who just wins
head
Super Bowls
coach.
before
I
breakfast?
want to address all of it
this is
first.
going to be very
I
important.
want to tell you
for
guys,
this guy,
man,
but he will have other opportunity. He doesn't want to hear that right now. He wants to do it right now.
You know what, guys? If he loses this, to me, it means nothing.
Oh.
It just gives us something to talk about in the offseason. 7 of the last 10 Super Bowls have been won by Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. There's no shame in losing to this generation's greatest player. Josh Allen, although incredible, he doesn't have the regular season accolades. He's not a 3-time MVP or a first-team All-Pro. He's just been incredible. But if he was to win, and gets over the hump, he lost Stephon Diggs, he lost all these players on defense, and get to the Super Bowl and win it, he will have done something that only 2 people have done. Joe Burrow and Tom Brady, and that's beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And I coined it to Dirk Nowitzki in the NBA. On his road to win the championship, he knocked off 3 teams in a row full of Hall of Famers, and he didn't have the same cast to support what he did. If he can get over this hump, you want to talk about a bump to his legacy?
Big time.
That's big time.
Big time.
Yeah, and in that respect, you know, ask Karl Malone if he feels ashamed having lost to Jordan.
Yeah.
Drexler, you keep going. Patrick Ewing, you could keep going and on and on. But, you know, like Hakeem did break through, Jordan had to step away. But long story short, there's some guys that eventually have to break through. Mickelson did it eventually as well. But I think this is an apt analogy from sports just for here right now. And it's interesting you mentioned, again, Peyton Manning and Brady, because Brady and Manning faced each other 5 times in the playoffs. This is 4 for Allen and Mahomes today. Taking it to kickoff in Philadelphia, Steve Weich, take it away.
Well, Rich, with the organizational upheaval in Washington and so many new faces in the D.C. area, the Commanders arrived at the NFC Championship much sooner than most of us expected. But nobody in that building wants to hear about them being ahead of schedule. As running back Brian Robinson said, we are ready now. This is not about building for the future. The time is now for us to get to the Super Bowl. Now, veteran linebacker Bobby Wagner, who went to the Super Bowl with the Seahawks very early in his career, lent this perspective. He said, we have something special and we know it. This isn't a team that's growing, or this isn't a team that's arrived early. We've been building something special and we're super tight. And because of us and because of that, we have no doubt. Rich?
Steve, thank you, sir. Perhaps more than any other sport, the NFL is all about hope. Hope that one season can be better than the last. Hope that years of waiting are worth it. And that the player your team drafted can, in fact, be the one who is worthy of your hope, because in an instant, he turns your football world into a dream come true, once-in-a-lifetime journey. Yes, Commanders fans, this is all happening. Jayden Daniels may just be the best rookie quarterback ever, ready to beat the Eagles again and take the fight for old D.C. back to the Super Bowl.
Rich, everybody, how you guys doing?
Hey, Daryl.
We're excellent. I mean, we're good, but maybe not as good as Commanders fans, as, you know, RG3 could obviously attest to as well. What's going through your mind watching Jayden Daniels and this team do what they're doing right now, Daryl?
It seems so, and I'm sorry, Robert, but before you, but it seems so of that era. We were not superstars. We were not, you know, beating our chests. We had humility. We had just a bunch of guys. I mean, if you guys go back, it's very much similar to what the Joe Gibbs